Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX discussion. And as I always do, calling down that great protection from that great divine for ourselves and from ourselves, so we don't ever become our own worst enemy. And you know, it can be a challenge in this life, but if you have fought through tooth and nail and haven't hurt anyone as well as ourselves along the way, and before I keep on going, I gotta honor thy ancestors, man, generals who fought through tooth and nail, man, to get many of us in that great divine space that we are in. I'm talking about our warriors out there, whether family, brothers and sisters in the world or online. Remember, it's more than just a platform. You know, we talking about all over the world. Those lights out there, they are not afraid to let that light shine. I'm talking about sometimes aggressive, sometimes strategically. Just depends on who we are and how much willpower we have deep within. Because when we have done what one is supposed to do, you know, whether you're a deep spiritual person or just an upright brother and sister or family member, and you got that divine in your soul, and even though things that try to push us over the edge, whether it's person, place, thing in the world, news, online, and we have deflected all distractions and ways and sways, and we went through the lessons, the levels, and the layers. The best is yet to come when we are one, brothers and sisters. But it's a battle for some of us, isn't it? It can be a battle being one. Now, we can say we're one. Again, it's for me too now, brothers and sisters, generals. And I want to give a salute to Queen Mayat Rogers, if I said her name right. Salute, the sister that comments on podcasts and videos I do sometimes. And I did a song recently called Divine Said, and she commented on that. And she always come through and visit. And I thank her and salute her and all those who comment and view. I thank you and salute you. And my son, Lord Lamont, salute. He thanks you also, because you know, we do father and son discussions, and we'll be doing a father and son discussion later on today, because we are in the AM, brothers and sisters. Remember, like I said, when that great divine tells one to speak, I speak. When that great divine tell one to shut up, I shut up, you know, because we got to have those times where we observe and learn, you know, just one's opinion and or theory. So I want to give Queen Mayat Rogers, you know, great sister, all that support me, and she's a product of brother Lance Scurv. So cause that's where I've never met her in person, but you know, I've met her online, and there's other great brothers and sisters that are in that I say tribe, that wonderful tribe, wonderful platform. So that's where I met her from, and I thank her. And she's on that. She's one with herself, you know, as be thankful for those who are one. And we're going to break down. A lot of us have heard, you know, the word one, of course, as you see on my banner, you know, and that's across the thumbnail. The best is yet to come, brothers and sisters. Man, when we are one, and that can be one with that divine, that can be one with family, a family spirit, one with our children, most of all, ourselves, one with Mama Nature, you know. If we can be one with that great divine, Mama Nature, and learning from life, whoo, man. And we can see, and we're not blinded by toxicity or insignificant things, man, you tell me what can stop a general, you know. But we always stay vigilant, you know, because being vigilant breeds breeds divine protection. That's why you hear me say that so much. But we have to know this in our soul and have no doubt in there. Now, of course, we're not serious all the time, but just staying aware and vigilant in life. That's where that term, an ounce of prevention, worth a pound of cure. When we're vigilant, we can, we can really have somewhat of a peaceful life, as peaceful as we possibly can, because the world we're living in, social media and a lot of people are transitioning and leaving this planet. Rest in peace and in power to those we held dear, whether in our families or someone we held dear. May they rest in peace and in power. But never forget, brothers and sisters, their spirit will live on through us, like people in my family, those who are listening, those you held dear. Keep their spirit in one's soul, especially those who meant something to us and were righteous and were one with themselves. Because a lot of us have met those who we know we just can feel, as we know, melanated brothers and sisters. Divine just gave us that gift of vibration. We can sense things even before we even understand or understand what it is, but we all can sense things. That's just something we have. So we have met those that we know that are one with themselves, with that divine, and know who they are. It's a wonderful space to be, especially to navigate through the algorithms of social media. And to be honest, I don't even really know what algorithm is. I kind of do, kind of don't, but when you're on the outside of this so-called matrix, which you see I got on my banner here, and being one takes great commitment, discipline, you name it, integrity, being one takes it depending on who we are, it can be a challenge being one, because as we say, the old saying go, the higher you go up in levels. And I'm not talking about success or making money, just in levels of awareness. And those that haven't, dealt with themselves, that are healthy, nothing wrong with them, and you run into a lot of that, and unfortunately, some that may have mental issues always happen to be in high places, as we notice the patterns, especially in, with the industry and this media and how they collide with social media. And so you just have to be outside of the blurred lines that's out there to see things. For one, pay attention to our own lives, as my son and I, Lord Lamont, salute, discuss. And I used a quote from Cat Williams, can't be looking at somebody else's plate. We're gonna let our own food get cold if we're busy looking at someone else's plate. In other words, we got to pay attention to our own lives, know that there's realities out here, and don't let this media and or social media get us trapped in a false sense of reality. And it's like when you see things come to pass that a lot of us, not just me, a lot of us has predicted things with brother or sister. I'm talking about those who are really in touch with their divine soul and really see things, and of course, again, we have fun, joy. We don't forget that, but our eye is always on that sparrow, right? And I'm telling you, it's a wonderful space to be aware, but being one takes great discipline, great commitment, no faking it till you make it, because a great divine, Mama Nature, will spank that ass. Cause that's one thing life will teach us, whether we want to be taught or not. And that's good or bad, cause no one is above great divine, Mama Nature, and that good old universe. You tell me one being on this whole planet that's more powerful than that, and if they think they're a fool. We've seen those who portray themselves as being God, and we see what happened. Great divine take them down a peg, you know what I mean? Or a peg or two or three or four. It depends on the individual, And as I always like to say, divine Mama Nature is the author of patience and time. Will give us all the time in the world to get ourselves together, And I always like to bring up, we all gonna get old one day. So there's no fool like an old fool. So if you don't know what becoming one is, you better find out, and you better find out in the right amount of time. Again, just it a lot of, being one with oneself, and not listening to everything on the outside. That's a start. Now we hear that a lot, but that's the only place to start, within one's soul. Again, becoming one with that great divine family, depending on our situations with our family, but still keep our family in our spirit. Don't talk down on them. Things change. We don't, like I say, like I heard from a great brother, actually Brother Kweku. We don't have to judge no one, because when one is toxic or unloving or whatever the case may be, one bring judgment upon themselves. In other words, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to be revengeful or bitter or anything. No, we keep being the loving generals we are and we always have been. And remember, we always go back to Mama Nature. Let nature teach those that don't want to be taught or want to be toxic. And I'm talking about healthy human beings, that's wasting time on this here planet. I'm not talking about those who are in situations or circumstances, as I always say. I'm talking about upright, healthy human beings that refuse to do the right thing. You know what I mean? Let life teach them, because we got to have, those who are teachers and teachers. And, if I'm speaking, if you do got a platform or not, but just an upright human being. We as human beings, as I love to say, we don't know what's coming down the road, so that's why we have to be disciplined, stay on top of our wherever part of the world that we're in, stay on top of our discipline, our children, ourselves, health, our mind, our soul, stay on it, stay vigilant. It breeds divine protection all day, every day. And the little reminder is the divine things that has carried us through in life. That's how we know, and become one with it. Again, dreams, synchronicities, things like that. I speak on these things a lot. Become one with it. Go deeper. Those are glimpses into the future, and that goes back to prevention. Be a brother and sister and family of prevention. Because again, we're all gonna get old one day. All part of that same righteous tree. Every part of a righteous tree matters, brothers and sisters, when it's got a golden heart. Like I told my son, Lord Lamont, salute, great divine, Mama Nature. Don't give a damn about status or what we got, what money. We can't take none of that shit with us, and none of us know what's on that other side. You know what I mean? So we better somewhat have our soul, mind, and our heart together, when that time comes, and it is a touchy subject to talk about transitioning and, leaving this planet. But all I can say, brothers and sisters, just do the best we can while we're here, and don't hurt nobody along the way. In my theory, I think that great divine will respect that. Not that we're perfect and we do everything right, but having a right heart, that's a beautiful thing, and everything else will come. Of course, not before the needs. I always like to say, great divine give us what we need, then the righteous ones will come, and we can breathe when we let things come naturally, and just deal with every challenge accordingly. Don't let things shake us up or take us off course on this mission in life. Again, it's not whether we're spiritual, educated, or we just an upright brother and sister or family. Let nothing stop us from being vigilant. Think of all the wonderful things we have plowed through, all the fires we have blazed through. We standing firm today. We here for a reason, and I know this in one soul, because my son Lord Lamont has been through a lot, as many of my biological children, I'm sure, been through many battles and struggles. Still here, just keep that in your mind. Those who are listening, here for a reason. Real talk. All right, and welcome to a session with Morpheus and Neo on the banner. I had Morpheus on the thumbnail, and it just represents. And of course, we know what the movie is about, and we've all seen the movie Matrix, and it represents becoming one. But it takes a lot of commitment, a lot of discipline, a lot of paying attention, and just staying whole within, being honest about our quirks. And it's just, you just can breathe through life. As my son and I talked about, Lord Lamont, salute. When our subconscious is clear, oh my God, man, oh my divine, we can hear, and it's wonderful. But as I like to say, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's so true, and I think many of us will agree. It can take a lifetime for one to become one. It takes commitment. It takes staying with it. It doesn't, we don't get to a space and we're done. No, the levels never stop, and again, we just stay with it. And I'm telling you, a lot of brothers and sisters that live well up in age, that's doing good and looking healthy and looking young, because they planted those seeds decades ago or years ago. And the best is yet to come when we're one, and different strokes, different folks. But, it says that, you hear that saying, it's never too late, but you can't wait too late now, And again, we as human beings, we never know what's coming down the road. But I tell you what, you cling on to that divine spirit. Keep doing right. I'm telling you, things will surely come. They come in time. They come in seasons. And a lot of us are living in our right choices we made. We living in that season now, or the choices we made before now. Is the reason we're here today. Righteous choices. It's a beautiful thing, even through the storms and challenging times. And I love to say, we'll be glad we didn't do this. We'll be glad that we didn't do that. Like myself helping my children, my divine children, my biological children, my son, Lord Lamont, the best way one can. It's just, because I too have challenges too. I never want to come off, as I like to say, and as well as my son, Lord Lamont. I don't never want to come off like we're perfect and we don't have challenges. Yes, we do. That's why we don't spend that much time on social media, because we out here living life. It's realities out here, and a lot of battles to be fought, with this. That's why social media, things can enter your mind, be the algorithm. And again, to be honest, don't even really know what an algorithm really is. And I know some things about computers, but I'm not this tech savvy person. I'm just like many of us, brothers and sisters. Some of us didn't even graduate. No, well, I did. I can't speak for all of us. I didn't even graduate from high school, never been to college. And there's a lot of us like that. But when we have that passion and that determination, to send out positive energy to brothers and sisters, whether you got a platform or not, in the world, it's amazing what that divine determination will take us. We'll be so determined to reach people, like those decades ago that didn't have social media. They pushed their voice out there. So that divine determination in you will make you want to learn, if you want to reach people. And of course, if you got a good heart and you mean well, passion, divine passion, man, it's beautiful. Because it'll take you to places that, what they say, where no brother or sister ever been before, in our soul, and it just leads to some great things. And you learn a lot of things along the way. And, studying oneself, meditating and becoming one, it can be amazing, the things we learn about ourselves and the skills we muster up when we dig into our subconscious and in our core, the gifts we can find, amongst the bad things that may be hidden within. But we get that out too, and analyze it, break it down. We have old negative thought patterns. Study it, see where they're coming from. Why do we have them? Ask ourselves questions, get to know ourselves. We hear that a lot, we hear a lot of teachers say that, but it's a reason for that, because you can breathe through life when one doesn't have a bunch of garbage in their subconscious. Been there, done that. Real talk. We're talking years ago though, decades. Again, it can take a lifetime for one to become one. But if you have fought through all the struggles and went through all the lessons and layers, the best is yet to come, brothers and sisters, when we are one. Real talk. One with that divine family, children, ourselves, and that great Mama Nature and that wonderful universe. And I wanted to give a salute to the comedian Laval. Excuse me if my voice kind of went low a little bit. Comedian Little Duval, and he played in the movie with T.I. My son and I were talking about this too, Lord Lamont. And I seen a clip of him. He bought some land, and it was a massive amount of land, and I was so impressed by that. And I've been meaning to speak on this, and I got another comedy heavy hitters I want to do. I did 2 of them so far. I think I want to do another one on Lil Duval, because he's a very unique brother. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, I think he's kind of an underrated comedian, and he's very funny. And I've been kind of riding along with the brother for a little while, kind of off and on. I've been seeing little, stand-up specials throughout the years. But salute to Lil Duval. He's a comedian. I'm sure everybody know who he is. He played in the, I think it was The Trap that T.I. made, where he had the chicken place where, and salute to all the comedians and everybody that was in that movie. My son and I talked about that. But it showed a clip of him. He had a whole bunch of land, and it was a massive amount. I was amazed by that. So that's salute, and that's inspiring, and that's another thing, man. Think about things like that. Even if we don't have, we could think about it, ponder it. It helps us to come up with a way how we can get some land, learn about it, because, I don't know nothing about buying land, never had it, but we learn about it, and we see things that's the things that we need to, consume, things like that on social media, because as far as algorithms go, I don't even know if I'm saying that word right, but when you're in a positive space as brother, sister, family, and you look at a lot of positive stuff, whether it's sometimes music or comedy, because I do, but I try to look for a lot of positive things that intrigue me, and that's the things that will be in our algorithms, the things we like, how we see the sidebar, the things that we're interested in. So I'm usually clicking on to something kind of positive, because I listen to people speak and funny clips and positive clips and stuff like that. So Lil Duval's clip came into the algorithm, and I thought that was dope that he bought land. He said he was like, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said he was like in a dream. He couldn't believe he had all that land, So that's wonderful and very inspiring. Again, salute to that brother. Just wanted to mention him. He'll be in the next, and I've mentioned him on past podcasts where I spoke on comedy, but he'll be on the next comedy heavy hitter. The last one was Chris Rock. Chris Rock was part 2, and Alex Thomas was part 1. So that's on my channel, because I love comedy as well as my son. We always end up circling back around the comedy, because we gotta learn to laugh sometimes too. Don't let ourselves become too deep. You know what I'm saying? Just a little advice from old brother EBXCARES. And I just wanted to let out what was in one's spirit, and I tell you, and rest in peace and in power again to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Was really sad and unfortunate, as well as others, brothers, melanated brothers and sisters that transitioned before him. The list goes on and on. Bernie Mac, rest in peace. His name popped up here recently, and it just seems like it's one celeb after another, and it's the same story. Like I heard the brother that played Lamont. I always forget his name. The brother that played Lamont on Sanford and Son. He said the players change, but the game remains the same. I mean, it's the same pattern over and over and over, and different things thrown out there to distract us while something else, is being maneuvered and something going on behind the scenes. So that's why I don't get caught up in the old, I got my certain celebs I like, but I don't get caught up in the whole celeb thing, and try to stay one, try to stay committed to being one, because when we're righteous in that heart and we're paying attention and to our families and our own lives, man, the best is yet to come, brothers and sisters, when we're finally, emphasis on finally, one. So rest in peace and in power to, those celebs are no longer with us, those who have transitioned that, maybe cared about or held dear. Again, may they rest in peace and in power, but their soul will live on through us, because the truth will never die. And dodge social media mess. A lot of social media mess out here. And matter of fact, Brother Lance was just speaking on, a certain individual that had a very influential presence on social media. I won't say his name, but he spoke on it. And it's just unfortunate because the brother he spoke on, I actually supported him, and I like the information because he was a great speaker. And it's just unfortunate. Now, I'm not perfect, but oh man, it just, again, when we building a legacy and we're speaking to brothers and sisters, just toxic shit and wrong shit and dark shit behind the scenes, it just make it all, you're just gonna be looking stupid in the long run. I would never understand that. Again, there's no fool like an old fool, and the moment we take our eye off that righteous spirit, all is lost, and it's just a matter of time for that false, fake, toxic building come crumbling down. Because if the root, I've talked about them chakras. If the root chakra isn't stable, the rest of the building is gonna come crumbling down. It's not a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. Excuse me. It's a matter of when. Been there, done that. Wrong choices, thinking we slick and thinking no one is slicker than that great divine or above that great divine of Mama Nature or can outmaneuver karma. It's not no individual can outmaneuver karma. Oh yeah, like again, great divine Mama Nature is the author, patience, and time. Will let you do the most this heinous act, the most think you just clever, think you getting away with it. You just sneaking and conniving and TT and Kiki and seeing you thinking it's a game, you're getting over on people, then boom, out of nowhere, karma spanked that ass. And no one is exempt from karma. Me, anybody, so I would never understand why somebody would begin to build a legacy and do toxic shit behind the scenes just for it to come tumbling down later, especially with this social media age. This is something my son and I talked about. Once we do something toxic, I'm talking about really bad, that affects like maybe the black community or, and just affects, those that are trying to be positive. Once you record it, you can't take it back. So, again, it's not about hiding things or anything like that. We just do what we're supposed to do. Just be an upright brother and sister, family, human being right off the bat. Because if we have nothing toxic within, we have nothing to worry about. Again, my son and I, Lord Lamont said, when our subconscious is clear, we can hear. Again, it's not about being this perfect human being. It's having perfect intentions and doing the right thing. I'm telling you, righteous will follow. It's automatic. That's the laws of that great divine. And we talking about righteous laws. And it's actually not even laws. Because Mama Nature and that divine runs off principles. You know what I mean? Things that we're supposed to do. We shouldn't have to be told. Shouldn't even have to have laws, Again. But in some cases, I guess we do need laws because, those go against nature, but nature runs off principle, not laws. But I guess, in some way, shape or form, great divine allowed laws of the land, but that has to be guided and directed right too, not just for those. The law can't just be for those who make the laws. It also has to be to catch those who are a menace to society. That's what the law should be for, But I think it should be changed to principles. They should take that word law out of there. Now that could be an opinion and or theory, because words have energy, But that's kind of another podcast. And I actually done one when I talked about, I think it was law versus principles. It was something like that. And I spoke on this on my channel somewhere. And I spoke on that, the difference between principles and law, but I have to do a little research because, I don't know a lot about law and all that, and, politics and that kind of stuff. So I have to study and do a little research on it because I say 1,000 times, never get to a space where we think we know everything, and it's okay to not know things, that's the fun part of learning, fun to the mental, fun to the mental. Thank you, Professor Griff, because that's what I learned that from. And something else I learned from him that I bring up from time to time. When it comes to social media, the media, TV, this life, never just look at it. We look in it. And that, again, we look in it, I mean, it's a lot more, but I know it's a lot of negative things going on, but there are some warriors out there, and I'm not just talking about a social media presence. or influencer. I'm talking about just in the world in general, because we got to keep a global thought, not just in little spaces, exploring our minds. Of course, it's good to do it physically too, travel if we can, but definitely in our mind. Because as Malcolm X said, rest in peace and in power. Once we got that divine thought in our mind and we're determined, it will turn into action. Because when we have a right heart and a mission, that great divine will antagonize us. It will make us we'll have to do so. We won't feel right if we don't do nothing. So that's the great part of becoming one. But it takes commitment. Again, discipline. Staying on top of oneself, staying vigilant, because it breeds divine protection, brothers and sisters. So that was a little bit in my soul, and I did have a summary that I wanted to read. And of course, y'all know we're gonna have a hip hop break. And again, look for a father and son discussion later on today. It is 2 a.m. in the a.m. It is 2:20. Let me see what we got. It's 2:21 right now, and this is, a lot of times that's when that great divine will speak to us in the a.m. That's when we get our greatest divine downloads. Did a podcast on that too. It's a wonderful journey, learning. Now, salute to those who've been commenting and riding along. My leaders and teachers, as my son Lord Lamont said, our fellow spell breakers, and we breaking all toxic spells. Yep, high status, low status, it don't matter. All right, we're gonna get to this hip hop break, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna read a summary, just a little breakdown on becoming one. And being committed to it. And it's wonderful, being righteous in the present. You righteous in the present. You guaranteed to bear fruit in the future. And it just gets better and better, when you stay on top of things and stay with it. It's just been in my spirit today. It just dawned on me because, like, let's use money for instance. Now, money isn't everything, but I know of course we all know we got to have it to pay bills and stuff like that. But I learned today, because like I said, brothers and sisters, I have challenges too. I might not talk about it sometimes, but I too have challenges, and actually got some challenges kind of going on now that kind of required money, but not for me, but for somebody else that concerns my divine children and my biological son, Ethan. And it just dawned on me, and I'll just, I always say, thank that divine. I say it a lot. And, I just said to myself, thank you, great divine, for making me disciplined. Thank you for not, for putting good choices in one. And you can say this to yourself, just thank that great divine, anybody. For, just, this is what I said. I said, thank you for making me disciplined and not spending money stupidly and stuff like that, and saving it and budgeting it and not act like I'm balling and all this old ridiculous stuff that don't mean nothing. And because things happen out the blue. So again, I'm just using money as an example, but be disciplined in all areas, brothers and sisters, mind, body, and soul. See, hear, and feel. And that wonderful, wonderful psyche, the 7 senses. The most important thing in our life. Those see, hear, and feel, mind, body, and soul, and the psyche. So money is just an example I'm using, Now, if I was wasn't disciplined, spending money stupidly, then I wouldn't just be hurting myself. I will also be affecting those that I would have to say kind of look up to me, which is my divine children and my biological children. Which is Aaron, Lord Lamont, and Ethan, or a family if they need some money or something. You know what I'm saying? So just never know what could come along, and because we always got to remember there were those that pulled us up. So that was that great divine. Well, he will put it on our heart to do, but it's up to us, and we do it because we want to, not because we feel obligated or have to. It's because what we put out is ultimately what we get back. And a lot of us are living this right now. And that's exactly what becoming one is all about. And when we have done all the things that great divine has called us to do, the best is yet to come, brothers and sisters. when we are one. Be back after this. And this is Forge Forward. Wake Up Music. Got another song after that. Be back after this, Generals. Salute.
EBX, brothers and sisters, family. You know what we gotta do, me and you, I'ma keep on forging forward, and you better know it, in this life, man, and it will show it. Brothers and sisters, keep on forging forward, forward, and I keep on laying this ground, and I'm always around, and I keep on doing this, making this positive sound. I'm looking straight up into that sky. Because we transition and we don't die. And we can be on fire and we watch and we learn from those that we admire. And keep on lifting up, it never is tough. And to keep on doing things up in this life and it will never get stuck and forging forward. And marching on. Brothers and sisters, keep on forging forward. And man, you better know it. Brothers and sisters, keep on forging forward. You know we gotta take the time to fight that inner beast, so we don't be blind up in the streets and making sure that we see but stay up in our mind, so we can always will be free and to keep that family spirit inside of me. Cause I will always teach, man, love to do this. Man, I wanna lift my people, don't care about his. I'm dropping jewels, this is what we gotta do. I don't care about no debating or no damn duel. Yeah, the truth is what coming out my brother's mouth. Yeah, I'm trying to lift spirits and protect our house and get the psyche center of it all and keep them forging, and man stand tall. Woo! Gotta keep on forging forward. And man, you better know it, show it. Gotta keep on forging forward. Brothers and sisters, keep on forging forward. Don't you ever stop and I lift your soul straight through this hip hop. Got that great divine, I got it in me, you got it in you. Man, we never ever lose. Gotta keep on forging forward. And man, you better know it, show it, know it. Gotta keep on forging forward. Brothers and sisters, and you better know it, show it. Gotta keep on forging forward. Brothers and sisters, man, you better know it, show it. Gotta keep on forging forward. Brothers, you better know it.
Real talk. Brothers, you better know it. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Keep forging forward. Don't stop. Again, we here right now for a reason. Whatever space we in. Again, I'm not just talking about no platform. We're beyond that. I've been beyond that. I've graduated from social media a long time ago, and I move when that great divine say move. When I move, you move. That's what great divine told me, so it's wonderful to take time off social media for a while because you feel refreshed and keep yourself renewed, and so we can keep our subconscious clear. Brother, sister, general, salute. The next song is Keep Our Soul Right, or Keep Your Soul Right. Be back after this because we're gonna do a little breakdown of becoming one. Be back after this. Salute.
And to my generals and my family, you ever learn nothing else from me? Just keep your soul right, and we can take flight. Just keep our soul right, brothers and sisters. Just keep our soul right, and we can take flight, brothers and sisters. Just keep our soul right and keep on going on. We gotta stay strong in that divine zone. I never stop this, and I don't see no quit. And I don't care about being no star or being rich. I got my family, I got it in thee. I never stop this, staying here on this beach. You're the only enemy that I see of industries. Is the up of the world and evil entities. In my mind is a state where I be free. So I can see my generals in thee. Never will stop, in this life I won't drop. I come through your soul straight through this hip hop. The man is take flight. Keep us so right. Brothers and sisters, keep your soul right. So we can take flight. Just keep your soul right. And keep moving on. Stay in the divine zone. And never be stopped. Melanation so strong. We like go hard. Don't care about ourselves, and we know who we are. I never stop this, I never have no fear. I don't see no stress or see no quit. I'm gonna take flight, cause I'm full of light. Man, I keep my soul right. Brothers and sisters, yeah, I keep it so right, yeah, right. So we can take flight, keep it so right. Brothers and sisters, keep it so right. So we can take flight, and keep it so right. Brothers and sisters, so we can take flight.
Real talk, man. That was an old song right there. I made that song a year ago. I love hip hop. I really do. And I love those who love me. You know what I mean? And even if you love me from a distance, that's all right. You know, things take time. You know, and it's wonderful when we get to that space when we just understand, overstand, and understand. You know, and just keep it moving and stay on this mission. Let nothing throw us off this course. And let me see. Let's get back to breaking down, becoming one. You know, I gotta get back to the mojo. All right. Back to the mojo, brothers and sisters. And we're gonna break it down. Let me see. I don't think that was it. Let me see. Nope. We gonna break it down. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me for the pause. All right, brothers and sisters. Sorry about that. We're going to get back into it. Thank those that's been riding along. Appreciate you. You get anything positive out of what I say, or my son, Lord Lamont, say, please take it, pass it on to someone else. Now, on my banner here, we all have been on this mill. Of course, again, we've all seen the movie Matrix. I always say, you know, you want to see, because, you know, they show signs and stuff in movies. You know, again, like I said, Professor Griff said, we look, again, I don't, you know, condone just sitting around watching movies, but study them. You know, we look in it and not just at it. You know, again, salute Professor Griff. That's where I learned that from. So we all have been at this space. What's on one's banner? You know, some of us took the red pill. Some of us took the blue pill. You know, and that's symbolic. And we all have come across that. You can say a fork in the road, threshold, you know, the final frontier, a different tier in life. You know, we all have come to that final decision, whether we're going to keep, you know, are we going to consume the bull, or we going to take the righteous road and embrace challenges and let it make us stronger, you know, and not one thing so fast and quick. You know, be willing to go through the levels, because there's a lot of great things that come with, you know, a righteous struggle, so to speak. You know, so on my banner here, it represents the fork in the road we all come to in life. You know, especially when we always say 50 is that fork in the road. It'll determine it, because 50 is where we see where we've been and where we're going and what we became or what we're becoming, you know, because a lot of times, if again, you know, a lot of us talk about conditioning. That's Malcolm, I always say Malcolm X used to say, you know, rest in peace and in power. And some of us come out of a way of thinking, especially if it's not good for us, and it carries over into if we don't become one with ourselves before we even get to the deep spiritual, and we have toxic behavior or habits and we don't work on them and we just let it linger on and well in age, it's not going to get any better. So that's one of the true reasons to become one with oneself, that great divine family, you know, and watch what we project out onto others. You know, it's very important. Great divine don't want us hurting ourselves or others, you know. It wants us to learn and keep transcending, and pass it on to the youth and keep it going. That's how positive energy works. Positive energy doesn't work mixed with negative energy. It's like oil and water. It'll never work. So that's why I find it funny and hilarious when one is trying to sneak, lie, because when one is connected to that divine spirit, and I'm not trying to sound cosmic or majestic, but a lot of us have vision. A lot of us can see things. Some of us have a far range spiritual realm. Some of us can sense things far away, because I talked about that realm. It's different. Some people don't sense things till it get close to them. It's like it's different levels of discernment. It depends on the individual, how deeply, we talking about righteous now, deeply spiritual one is, as brother, sister, family, younger or older, how far that realm is, because that's where that ounce of prevention comes in. Because being, you hear a lot of us talk about spiritual and spirituality, but it is not an easy thing. It's something you have to have full on 100% concentration of mind, body, and soul. It is not no joke, and you really dig up a lot of things in one's core. And some people are afraid to go into that core, but you have to get to that great part of us, because it's not that a lot of us don't have great things in us. It's just that we don't take the time to go within, as we all here, deep within, and dig all that shit up. And so we can breathe and come into our golden years gracefully, because that's what it's all about. Again, because who want to come into their graceful years with drama and grown adolescent and still doing things you did in your 20s, especially if it's toxic. Hey, I feel sorry for you if you're living like that, because again, ain't no fool like an old fool. So in one way or another, one better become one, and I'm talking righteously, because again, when one has done all they have supposed to do in this life and standing in a good space, the best is yet to come when one has become one. So let's go over this summary, my leaders and teachers, with a student spirit. Let's go. Becoming one with that divine, generally with that great divine, generally refers to a mystical or spiritual experience where an individual transcends their individual self and merges with a higher power or ultimate reality, a real reality. We be spiritual, but again, not spiritual to the point where don't try to be, just be a divine brother or sister. Don't push so hard. Again, let it come natural. Do right things when no one's looking. That's the secret. I said this too. Forgive me for fumbling. That secret connection to that great divine is doing the right thing when no one's looking. That's that secret divine, because that positive force, sees all, knows all, right? Not trying to sound too biblical, but if those do a little reflection of divine moments in our lives, that's our answer. All right? Because if you are somewhat tapped in to your spiritual self, you have experienced divine things happen in your life. That's a given. I know I have, and I know I'm not the only one. So most of us that's listening to me right now know what I'm talking about. All right, this concept appears in various religions, but we go beyond religion, and let me see, philosophical traditions, often involving a sense of unity, oneness, and a feeling of being part of something larger than oneself, connected. Even when I didn't know that great divine was in my life, again, we would do just a little bit of reflection. We extract the needed tools of the past, remember, but we don't lag. But just do a little bit of reflection, even when a lot of us didn't know our spirit or spirituality. Think back to those times we were protected and we didn't know how, and just out of nowhere something protected us. That's because Great Divine had a mission for some of us. That's why some of us might have had near-death situations, stuff like that, and we got out of it. Every time something happened, we're able to get out of it, especially if we got somewhat of a good heart, through our challenges and our adolescence and all that stuff. But if we think back, Great Divine had a plan for us. That's why a lot of things didn't happen to us, and we always have that gift of getting out of tight situations. I'm talking about righteously, like just leaving a place, like let's say for a club, and I actually heard a brother speak on something like this. Like say you leaving a club or you just left the club and it got raided or somebody got to fighting and shooting or something. Things like that. A lot of us have experienced that. Either getting ready to go somewhere but got detoured and went somewhere else and something happened. Like, man, I'm glad I didn't go there. A lot of us have experienced that. That's because that Great Divine has something for us. And then we start, as we get deeper into our spirituality and learning it, we start connecting the dots. And we connect it up to now, our present, till then. And we're like, wow, Great Divine got me here for a reason, And when we know that, and we see the synchronicities and all that stuff, and we know what it is, and we're not faking it, and we're real with it, then we have became one. But we gotta stay committed. Again, especially to oneself. When I say become one, that divine spirit, that righteous soul, the humanity in us, it will bring back good things. When we learn, the art of patience and silence sometimes, and let things come natural, and don't push and try to control and manipulate and all those things that are poison. It'll just hurt us in the long run. And as I said before, there are lessons all around us. I'm just seeing some people on this social media and some of these platforms, one just falling one after another, and be happy with what we have, whether it's in life in general, or we do have a platform we work with. Be thankful, that we had. Some of us are just some of us now, not all of us. Some of us are just so ungrateful. Be thankful you have a voice and able to speak, So, but it's how we do things. We be strategic, how we speak. We be like a righteous sniper as a brother and sister, And we move on divine time, not our time or man time, and on Mama Nature's time. That always let things come natural, Don't let things have us where we're reacting. Observe, break things down, be bold, have courage in areas, and again, it's for me too, and that inspires me with my son, Lord Lamont. He said he's seeking therapy and it's working out for him. And I asked him if he had a good person that's helping him, and he said yeah, and it's helping him and his girl, which has had a birthday. Salute. And that takes courage, and I'm proud of him for that, for not just letting things fester within him and dealing with it, because it has to be dealt with. However we deal with it, it has to be dealt with. If we have issues within that we need to deal with and we're not, that cause what? It's the opposite of supernova. A supernova is something that explodes, but the opposite is implosion. So that's what happens within us, and it festers. And now if it's circumstantial, that's okay. But if one is sneaky, conniving, and all that stuff, man, that's a train wreck waiting to happen. Especially if you have influence and you have hustle people, which my brother was speaking on. I was just talking about a little while ago. Man, people keep their eyes open, pay attention to this here social media. You learn a lot. It's a book in itself. You want to learn from a book? Learn from this book called Social Media in This World, and refer back to the Matrix, as I got on my banner here. As I said, what's on my banner here? We all have been at this point where we have to make a choice. We're going to keep doing toxic shit, or we're going to get better. And then we don't. And then again, out of nowhere, boom, divine spank that ass. Because when we're living a toxic life, at some time or another, Great Divine, Mama Nature, is going to spank that ass. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But on the flip side, when we're living a positive life And again, it's not about being this deep educated person or this deep spiritual person. Just an upright human being, brother, sister, family with a wonderful heart. Of course, wonderful things are going to come, with the challenges along the way. But when we're connected, when we have become one, discernment to be like seventh nature. We won't have to work for it. Again, our realm will reach further out. Our discernment, think of it as rings, like the what is it, Saturn? Think of those rings. That's how our discernment, it will reach further out. We especially melanated brothers and sisters. If we tap into that, that's where, in that realm includes the dreams and synchronicities and deja vu. That's part of our realm. That's why we should focus on our dreams, to get an idea, of what's before us. That's where the vigilant comes in too, and the protection. So that was just a few things that EBXCARES had in one spirit. And again, salute to Queen Mayat Rogers for commenting on a song I did called Divine Said. And I put my heart and soul. I actually wrote that song. I freestyled some songs, and but I wrote that one, put my heart and soul in it. And actually, when I made that song, I was going through a challenge. I was actually going through a battle when I made that song. So EBXCARES go through things too. I might not talk about it a lot, but one has challenges. And as I said in the past, when I first began, when I started really getting serious about speaking, it's like therapy, getting things up out of us. That's how we should look at speaking, and like that movie. I would like to bring up that movie Eddie Murphy made called 1,000 Words. How many words do we waste a day? How many words do we waste, or energy we waste a day on bull? Real talk. So be thankful if you have got yourself together and you have finally, emphasis on finally, become one. And you have made it to this level on one's banner, on my banner here, with Brother Morpheus and Sir Neo. He telling them what it is. Again, many of us have reached this point, and some of us succeeded, and I'm talking about spiritually, righteously. Some of us succeeded, and some of us failed. And it's okay. It's okay to fall, but it depends on what makes us fall. Because if you call someone's demise or it's heinous and it's like really toxic and bad and alters somebody's life, that's Great Divine will have to deal with you. It's gonna deal with you. Life gonna teach us whether we want to be taught or not. So it really doesn't matter. That's why I say, those who think they sneaky and maneuvering, high status, low status, male, female, brother, sister, it don't matter. Sooner or later, Great Divine gonna spank that ass, because when I mess up, Great Divine spank me. So ain't nobody else is no different than me. You get out, go outside of them principles the Great Divine and Mama Nature got set up, and see what happened. Because anytime you go against nature, it's always a consequence. There's always friction. There's always some kind of problem down the road, whether it comes soon or later. So just be an upright human being and do what the hell we supposed to do, in our space we're in, because that secret connection, like I said, is when we doing the right thing when no one sees. That's that secret connection to that Great Divine and that good old Mama Nature and that wonderful universe. So stay upright, my generals, family, and keep on practicing on becoming one with that divine, family, children, Mama Nature, and most of all, ourselves, because we got ourselves right within, deep within our subconscious, man, nothing can touch us. Again, when we got good things, what we're supposed to have, keep our conscience clean, we have nothing to worry about. Breeze through this life, and then that Great Divine can connect to us, because that's the only way to connect. And we talking about that real divine force. We ain't talking about man's God. We talking about divine, something that's deep, something that's powerful, something that we'll never understand or ever be able to get close to. Too powerful, and we'll never really know until we get on that other side. So I say do the best we can while we're here on this planet, and wherever we are in our part of the world, in our space, just be great. Great things will come. Big bangs come in small packages. You know what I mean? So thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX discussion. And stand upright, keep being generals, keep being vigilant. And being one, again, takes a lot of discipline. And man, it takes a lot of commitment, learning and researching and listening. We got 2 ears for a reason, as I heard from my great brother. We got to listen as much as we speak so we can learn. Then we'll be able to speak. Learning can be so fun. It's a heck of a journey. It can be challenging being a righteous brother and sister, but it's worth it in the end. And it keep us looking young, and again, who wants to be in their golden ages with a bunch of drama and bull and fighting back, trying to take back all the negative energy that you have given out, and you spend the rest of your life trying to get back what you have given away. And on some of these platforms, that's what one sees, So appreciate your voice, appreciate your life, appreciate the reachers and teachers out there. Salute the emphasis on the real ones now, those who may have platforms or not, and those who are putting it down in the communities, because you do have brothers and sisters and generals out there that do give a damn, because I met a lot of them along the way. So thankful. Be thankful for those who do care, and the soldiers and the warriors along the way, brothers and sisters. So again, that was in one spirit. And keep standing tall. Let nothing take away the love and the solid, the stillness that a lot of us have developed, that inner peace. Let nothing take away our inner peace, and protect that realm. And study on having our discernment, that outer realm, where wrong, toxic things can't even get near us. We can do that. We can have that ability, but it takes commitment, discipline, and I'm telling you, when we're righteous and on fire as brother, sister, family, as I said, the best is yet to come. We're finally, as general brother, sister, become one. Salute.